Hello children, we have a quadratic equation here 2x squared plus x minus 6 is equal to 0. This is a quadratic in x, in the variable x. We are asked to find the roots of this equation. Find the roots of this equation. And let us use the method of factorization because this is the best method which can be used for finding the roots of the quadratic equation. Now, in order to do the factorization, we'll have to make them into groups, and for that purpose, let us find two numbers a and b, in such a way that the sum of the two numbers should be equal to the coefficient of x. What is the coefficient of x? It's 1. So, sum of the two numbers should be equal to 1 and the product of the two numbers should be equal to the constant term minus 6 multiplied by the coefficient of x squared 2. So, minus 6 into 2. So, the product of the numbers should be equal to minus 12. Now, we will have to look for such two numbers. So, let's find factors of minus 12 because the product of the numbers should be minus 12. We should find all factors of the negative 12 so that they add up to 1. So, the first could be minus 12 and 1. Actually, 1 has to be negative because we have a negative 12 as a product. So, one of the factors has to be negative. But this is not correct suitable numbers for us because they do not add up to this 1, isn't it? So, let us try the next factor minus 6 and 2. Once again, they do not add up to 1. So, this also is not does not suit our purpose. So, let's go to 4 and 3. One of them has to be negative, but we will put the negative sign for the smaller number because it should add up to plus 1. It should add up to a positive 1. So, we put the negative sign to the smaller number. 4 minus 3, yes, it adds up to 1 and the product is minus 12. So, 4 and minus 3 are the numbers we are looking for. Now, we are doing the splitting of the middle term automatically, in fact mechanically, but in a separate video I have justified why we split the middle term for factorization of the quadratic equation. I recommend that you watch that video so that you get a complete clarity on why we are doing this procedure. I'll provide the link for you to watch that video. So, coming back to our problem, finding the roots, let us rewrite this equation. The equation given to us was 2x squared plus x minus 6 is equal to 0. Now, we are going to, the first term will remain the same, 2x squared, and the constant also is going to remain the same. Only the middle term is being split, plus x is being split into plus 4x minus 3x. The equation has not altered a bit, it's still the same, just that we have split the middle term into two terms so that to enable us to group it. We can put it in two different groups now and factorize it. So, how do we go about grouping? Just find the common factors. This is our first group. 2x squared plus 4x is the first group. What are the common factors? 2 is common to both. So, I factor out 2 from both of these terms, and x is also common. So, 2x has been factored out, and what remains within the brackets is x plus 2. So, if you multiply and check, you get 2x into x, 2x squared plus 2x into 2, 4x. So, once again, we have not altered the equation, it's the same. And what about the second group? The common factors are, 3 is common to both 3x and 6 and a negative sign. So, minus 3 is common to both these terms. So, now within the brackets, you have x for the first term, so that when you multiply, you get minus 3x back again, and we have 2, but it's not a minus 2 because we need a minus here. We need a negative sign here. So it's a plus 2. So all of them equal to 0. Now if you observe closely, we have an equation which is 2 terms, and both the terms have x plus 2 as a factor. So let us factor out x plus 2 because it's common. Let us factor it out. X plus 2, and x plus 2 in the first term is multiplied by 2x. So 2x, and the second term minus 3. Right? So if you multiply, you will get the previous equation back. So this is equal to 0. So now we have 2 terms equal to 0. Now always when two numbers are equal to 0, suppose a and b are the two numbers, let's have capital A, B this time. Suppose a and b is equal to 0. We know that a product will be equal to 0 only if either a is equal to 0 or b is equal to 0. So coming back to our equation, this concludes, the conclusion from x plus 2 into 2x minus 3 is 0 is that either x plus 2 is equal to 0 or 2x minus 3 is equal to 0. So let's take the first case first. If x plus 2 is equal to 0, it means that subtracting 2 from both sides, you get x is equal to minus 2. Right? So either x is equal to minus 2 or the second 2x minus 3 equal to 0 says that 2x is equal to 3 or x is equal to 3 by 2. How did we get 2x is equal to 3? We just added 3 to both sides. So 2x is equal to 3 or x is equal to 3 by 2. So these two, x is equal to minus 2 and x is equal to 3 by 2, are the roots of this quadratic equation 2x squared plus x minus 6 is equal to 0. So let us just substitute and see if we are correct. This is the equation which is given to us. So first, using minus 2 instead of x, we get, put x is equal to minus 2 in this quadratic, you get 2 into 4, because 2 minus 2 the whole squared is 4, plus minus 2 minus 6, which is equal to 4 into 2, 8, minus 2 minus 6, which is 8 minus 8, which is equal to 0, which is the right hand side. So this is one root. This is one, x is equal to minus 2 is one root of the equation. It satisfies the quadratic equation also. Now what about 3 by 2? Similarly, you can substitute and check. 2 into 9 by 4 plus 3 by 2 minus 6 is equal to 0. So you get 9 by 2 plus 3 by 2 minus 6 is 0, or 9 plus 3 is 12 by 2. 12 by 2 is 6 minus 6 is equal to 0. So x is equal to 3 by 2 also satisfies our, this one also satisfies. So this is also a root of the quadratic equation. So I hope you understood how we did the factorization of the quadratic equation and arrived at the roots of the equation. Thank you.